So we were discussing about the tips to focus on the job interview. So the other tip is to dress appropriately and also to take care of your necessary documents which you have to carry along with yourself. So you must make sure that you must carry at least two copies of your resume, and if applicable, also bring a portfolio which will showcase your work, right? And in reference, you must have a list of professional reference, like the people with whom you have worked with must have a list of those, so that if a reference is asked, you may give them the contact details of the same people. So moving towards the next point in the focus tips for the job interview is ask thoughtful questions, right? When you are going for an interview, make sure you ask thoughtful questions. It should be role specific. Ask about the day-to-day responsibilities and expectations of the role. Ask about the company growth, inquire about the company's future growth plans and how the role fits into these plans, right? And also ask about the team structure and dynamics. People from diverse background are there. What is the team structure over there in the company? So it will make you, the interviewer, feel that yes, you are very much interested and keen to know more about the organization you are applying for, right? So moving towards the next step is follow up. Make a thank you note. Make also do a follow up email. So when you make a thank you note, send a thank you or a thank you mail within 24 hours for expressing that thanks for giving the opportunity and for sharing your qualification and information, expressing your appreciation, and also to if you haven't heard back within the specific timeline, as after the interview they say that we'll let you know. So if you are not able to heard, like if they are not, they haven't gave you the responses. So in that case, what you can do is you can give them a mail where you may send a polite follow-up email to inquire about the status of your application, right? So you may give a follow-up mail to know about the status of your application, right? Next comes is stay positive and confident. You have to maintain a positive attitude throughout the interview and show the zeal, the enthusiasm, and interest in the entire role, right? Next is confidence. Believe in your abilities and present yourself very confidently, right? So we'll be discussing the interview questions, like what are some common questions and how to answer those questions, right? So basically, we are going to discuss about the 10 common questions which every interviewer asks. So number one is, and the very common question is, tell me something about yourself. So what you have to do is you have to introduce yourself if somebody is addressing you by your name. Suppose if somebody is saying, Mr. XYZ, please introduce yourself. So you will not start with your name as he has already addressed you by your name. So what will you do here? You will start from where you belong to, what industry experience do you have, and so on. So if somebody doesn't know about you and asks you to please introduce yourself, then you will start with that your name, and I have this and this years of experience in this particular field. I have graduated from. You make sure you have to start from reverse chronological order. When we talk about reverse chronological order, that means you have to start from your latest education, from your latest experience. If you are an experienced candidate, you have to start from your latest experience, right? You don't have to start from the very starting. So the next thing is you have to mention your graduation. You graduated from where, what is your school education, what was your previous role, you were responsible for which key responsibilities, Also mention what you are passionate about. So you have to give at least 1 or 2 minutes of introduction, unless and until they stop you and ask you some other question, right? You must have knowledge about yourself, about your strengths, about your weaknesses, about your hobbies, and must answer in such a way that nobody should like interrupt you in between. So answer it in a very precise manner and with a very clear information. So you must mention I'm passionate about fields, skills, and related to the job. And also you are excited to join the opportunity. You are excited about the opportunity to bring your skills and experience to the particular company you are applying, right? So this was all about. Tell me about yourself now. Coming to the other question is, why do you want to work here? So in this type of questions, what you have to do is you just have to admire the company. Why? Because they want to know that why you want to work in their company. So in this case, you admire the company, also mention the company name and commitment, mention specific value which or the mission of the company. I am particularly excited about this project which company is dealing with because it aligns with my skills. Also mention your relevant skill. I believe I can contribute to this particular goal and grow professionally in this innovative environment. So what you have to do is you just have to admire the company. You have to associate your skills to that of the company project and also have to believe that yes, the company is having the innovative process and you can grow uh, like you can also grow and your company will also have the substantial growth, right? So in this way you can answer this type of question. Next is, what are your strengths? Now if somebody is asking about your strengths, you have to mention it in a very strong manner, in a very impactful manner, right? It shouldn't be loud, but it should be impactful. So one of my key strengths is mention your strength, like you are very punctual, you complete your work before deadline, whatever you want to mention, which has helped me provide a very good, you can quote an example. I'm also skilled in this or this thing, which has enabled me to provide another example. So additionally, what you can do is you must present your strong ability as demonstrated by example. So I cannot mention any particular thing over here because every person has different mindset, different attitude. So you have to answer it accordingly. You have to create that particular things accordingly. I can just help you that how you will be able to line up your sentences, how you will be able to start from where you have to position your statement. So these are the tips just to frame your answers. These are not the answers, but these are the tips that how you will be able to frame your answers if these questions are asked, right? You have to practice these questions on yourself. The next is, what are your weaknesses? So one area I'm working on improving is that is your weakness. Like you trust people easily, or you are very much concerned about the we can say deadlines, right? Or whatever you want to mention, which I have, but you cannot mention such things that I trust people easily, I make friends easily. You have to mention it related to the specific job skills and the skill set which is required for your job. So you have to address that, which I have been addressing by mentioning the steps you have taken to improve. For instance, provide an example of improvement that you have been working on your communication skills, you have been working on your non-verbal skills, and now you are improving day by day. You have joined some communication classes, or you are practicing emotional intelligence. So these sort of things you can mention it, right? So you can also, by giving a close statement that should be a positive one, that I believe that recognizing and working on this will made me more better and will help me to become a more confident person, right? So in this way, you may end with your answer. Next is, can you describe a challenging situation and how would you handle it? So you can answer like, in my previous role in this company, we faced many challenges. You must describe a particular situation. I took the initiative to mention. You must mention what initiative you took. And if you are a fresher, you haven't dealt with any work experience. So you may address the college situations or the events where you have participated, where you have shown the leadership skills, right? So you can mention there. So now you can easily mention that I took this initiative which involved the particular steps, and as a result, we were able to overcome those challenges, right? So in this way, it will help you to frame your answer. Next one is, where do you see yourself in coming 5 years? This is a very common question and is asked almost in all interviews. So you may mention, in 5 years, I see myself growing within the company you are applying and taking on additional responsibility and contributing to the company's growth and achieving more goal. I'm eager to develop my skills in leadership, or you may write the top managerial level, and I hope to be in a position where I can mention a good authority and leadership role and continue to make a significant impact. So what you can do is you can answer your question by addressing your aim, like within 5 years, where do you see yourself? As you are addressing to a particular company, so you may address to that particular company only, right? What you have to do is you have to just look for the more authoritarian and more, we can say, leadership skills roles, the roles which are more at, we can say, higher positions, right? Now, the next question comes, why should we hire you? So now the company wants to know why they should hire, why they shouldn't hire any other person, why only you. So in that case, you have to mention your proven quality, your relevant skills, your expertise, which is going to contribute the organization, right? So you should hire me because of my proven ability to communicate or to critical thinking or design thinking. And my previous role in this company, I successfully achieved this. I'm confident that my experience and my skills and my passion will allow me to contribute more effectively to your team or organization, right? So you must have to frame your answers in a way that should have some value addition to the organization as well as to your career prospects, right? Next, we'll talk about, tell me about a time when you worked as a part of team. So in this particular question, if you are a fresher, you have to mention your leadership role as when you were heading a project, or you were a class representative of your class, or you were a any in charge of any events, or you have done any leadership role in your entire college life, right? So you may mention that. So in my previous job, I worked on this team project where my role was this. You have to mention each and everything. You collaborated with people, you faced many challenges, but instead of stepping back, you took a very effective decision and communicated well and successfully you overcome those challenges. So this experience taught me the importance of working in a team, having a good coordination, and so on. You can mention these types of skills, right? Next comes, how do you handle stress and pressure? Now, this is very common nowadays, as now the organization is looking for multitasking people. So you have to make sure that you are well versed with all the qualities, and you also able to work under pressure. So in this case, you can mention, I handle stress and pressure by prioritizing my task, by staying organized, or taking breaks. Whichever strategy is useful for yourself, right? You have to answer it accordingly. When I had a tight deadline, I try to manage my work by staying organized. I prioritize tasks. I look for the highly priority tasks. Then I used to sequence it, right? And then I take breaks, and then uh, I I don't get stress. Like you can also mention that I cannot easily sit when I'm not able to meet the deadline. So under pressure, I work very well. I stay organized and I used to prioritize my tasks so as to complete the task on deadline, right? So this can also act as a positive state. So this helps me stay focused. And this also helps me in delivering quality work on time. And I also believe in maintaining a healthy work-life balance. So which will help you to stay resilient under pressure. So these type of answers can be framed, right? You have to mention that under stress and pressure, you perform well, right? Instead of getting very nervous, instead of getting anxious and very much depressed, you start working in a more organized. You start making a strategy to complete a task on deadline, right? So in this way, you may answer your question. Next comes is, do you have any questions for us? So in this particular question, you may say, yes, I do. I am curious about, ask about the company culture, ask about the opportunities for professional development, what are the specific projects they are working on, what is the team structure, the team dynamics, right? Also, can you tell me more about specific job role? Or finally, what are the next steps in the interview process? So such type of questions, if you ask, will make you feel more connected with the interviewer. They will feel that yes, the interview is very much connected and wants to know more about the company culture, right? So in this way, you can answer these questions. So preparing answer to these common questions can help you feel more confident and feel you will be feel more confident and you will be well prepared for the interview. So tailor your responses according to your own experiences and specific job role you are applying for. So I hope this entire session will be helpful for you and will cater your needs for giving an interview. So you must make clear in your mind that for an interview, it is very important to be prepared, to have good knowledge about the company, research about the company, must carry all your documents, must carry professional attire, and be confident, right? And you have to be courteous throughout the interview. You have to be into proper zeal and enthusiasm throughout the interview so that you may have a positive outcome, right? So instead of getting nervous, getting depressed, you have to keep motivating yourself to maintain the positive attitude throughout the interviews. So today we have discussed about interviews. So in the upcoming sessions, in the next sessions, we will be talking about the group discussions. Till then, I would like to end the session and will meet you in the next session with the new topic of group discussions. Thank you so much.